the last 2 weeks at least, I've been on the phone every day, conference calls to our logistics provider, because everything's constantly changing. With the race calendar being confirmed so late, luckily we're staying in Europe for the first 8 races. Fortunately this time, although it is a triple header, logistically we'll really class it as a double header. What we're doing is racing in Austria and then racing in Austria again, and then just almost a quick 5-hour move up the road to Budapest. Once we're set up in Austria, it's mainly like a single event for us, although it is a double header. We don't have to pack down and move all the equipment to another venue. We'll have everything arrive before the race. Our suppliers like Petronas and Pirelli, they'll have more stock arriving, I'm sure, but we will just be in the same situation as normal. We'll just have vans arriving every other day maybe. The only difference is that those vans won't come as close to the paddock as normal. We'll just have to go out and collect the items from the vans and then bring it back to the paddock. Operationally, from a European logistics side, it doesn't really affect us with flights, other than getting personnel to and from the events. Everything for Europe travels by road anyway, so we'll just send the same amount of trucks out. We'll set everything up for the first 2 races in Austria, then move across to Hungary, and then from Hungary we'll come back across the water and we'll set up at Silverstone ready for the next 2 races.
As far as travel is concerned, the main difference this year is how we travel. Usually we would travel on commercial flights. However, for the team's safety, we are now travelling on private charters, departing and arriving into private terminals. The team are also driving from Austria to Hungary, and all these measures have been put in place to reduce the amount of people that the team come into contact with. I think the biggest challenge we face at the moment is the ever-changing travel restrictions. We are constantly having to review each government guideline within each country. Usually we have months to plan the travel for the races, however this has been reduced to weeks. We've had to make decisions quickly. For example, the charter planes. We knew that these would be in high demand, so we've had to make decisions quickly, promptly, to ensure that we got the correct plane at the right time for the team.
It won't be the same setup as a normal European race, because we won't have any motorhomes. In agreement with F1, what we've managed to do is we're going to move the race trucks further away from the garages, and we'll be supplying our own tents and awnings to give us more working space within the garage. Easier to social distance and work comfortably. Set-up and pack-up operations for a European, nothing really changes for us. Whilst we're qualifying and racing in Austria, we will have a crew of people in Budapest. They'll be building the garage, building the awnings out the back of the garage for us. So when we move everything across on the Sunday night and the Monday to Budapest, we should arrive to a built garage, and then all we have to do is fill the empty spaces, really. The people that build the garage, they should be done and dusted by the time we arrive, and then they'll be moving on to the next one. They'll be coming back to the UK, getting ready for the garage to be built in Silverstone. Everybody will be tested before they go out to Austria, and we'll all be tested whilst we're in Austria. Normally we would have our fuel delivered to the garage, and then we would send people to Pirelli to collect the tyres. It's now going to be that we'll have a drop-off point and a collection point for the fuel, and also the tyres will be taken to a drop-off point, and our lads will go to the collection point, collect the tyres, and then vice versa. Once we're finished with the tyres, we'll take them back, and Pirelli will pick them up once we're clear of the area.
I think one of the biggest challenges we've faced, certainly since I've been with the team, is getting the team back from Australia. We had approximately 90 people we needed to get back as safely and quickly as possible. We worked until the early hours with our flight agent to ensure that we achieved this.
As we were due to race in Bahrain after Australia, we already had a crew of people that had left Australia to go to Bahrain and also leave the UK to go to Bahrain. The race hadn't been cancelled at that point, so we still had to send the people just in case. But by the time they'd landed in Bahrain, unfortunately the race was cancelled, so it was almost turn around and come back home again. Sea freight always leaves the UK months in advance of the race. When we arrived in Australia, the sea freight had already been unloaded and the garage was built. We unloaded the air freight into the garage, set up as normal on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then when the news came through Friday morning, we just went in and packed down the garage, loaded the air freight, pack-up crew went in once we'd departed and packed the garage down. That was due to go to Canada directly from Australia. We ended up going to Baku in the end. Now Baku's been cancelled for the year. That sea freight's on its way back, so yeah, we've got 4 sea freights already back in the UK, and the Baku sea freight arrives back first week of July.
To ensure the team's safety, we are supplying them with travel packs, which includes face masks, hand sanitisers and gloves.
I think we are looking forward to operating under the new normal. Luckily, we've been to Silverstone. We ran the car for a couple of days last week. We ran one car from one side of the garage and then the same car from the other side of the garage the following day, just to check all the equipment after it's come back from Australia. We built the timing stand, we built the engineer station, used both the overheads, used all the equipment that we would have used in Australia and that we will use in Austria. Logistics from Silverstone to Barcelona is quite a distance, and it is a back-to-back race. What we'll have to do is we'll have our normal pack-up crew come in. They'll take all the engineering base down, pack it up, load the trucks, ready to go. We'll then have a crew of fresh people come in. They will then drive the trucks from Silverstone, get it down to Dover, across the water, where they'll be met by another crew of people. They will then swap over. The trucks will then carry on down to Barcelona, ready for the lads that had packed up in Silverstone. Will be fully rested, ready to build again in Barcelona as soon as the trucks arrive.